Hi creatives, greetings from my end, Dimma here, and you're welcome to Jenje's Couture. And on today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you how to put this gorgeous overbust corset together. In the last tutorial, I shared with you how I made the whole, how I drafted the whole of this corset. In case you've not seen it, just check the description box and you see every of it. So here I have my pattern, which we did in the last tutorial, and I will go ahead and cut it to the different parts that it is divided. You can see what I wrote on them, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to cut them into the different parts and cut it on both lace and the chinos fabric. You can use Duchess or crepe in place of the chinos. The chinos is the interlining of this very dress, okay, of this very top. Watch closely and you will understand everything I did to achieve this beautiful overbust corset. So right now I'm going ahead to cut out the pattern pieces. I'm going to divide the pattern into 3 parts just as I made it, and this is what I have. Now these are the pattern pieces which I'll be cutting on chinos. Watch closely. Here I'm cutting it on chinos using 1/2 inch all through. It's only by the side front that I used 1.5 inches for the side seam allowance. Every other part is 1/2 inch, and I'm putting notches where necessary. Observe my double notches and the single notches. Okay, please be very attentive to understand everything that I did in this tutorial. So right here I have cut both the lace and the interlining, and you can see all of that here with the pattern pieces on top of them. I have also gone ahead to interface this. You can see what I used. I used a sort of tissue stay interfacing on the lining, and I used hair stay on the fabric, but the tissue stay is double several times and is not the regular one, is the thicker version. Okay, so that is what I did for this back. All of the back I used hair stay on the interlining, and I used tissue stay, double of it, on the lining. So here is the front part, and you can see how I used hair stay and of course the wadding to pad up the bust, and I avoided the neckline so that it doesn't disturb the lining from being relaxed. You can also see this. I have applied the hair stay and the wadding. Watch how I cut the wadding for this side. Okay, you can watch how I cut the wadding. Just pay close attention to what I did here. I also applied the tissue interfacing on the lining. That is the double of it, just as I did for the back. And this is how I'll be placing the lace fabric on all of this, and I will go ahead and start putting all of that together, observing the notches. The single notch will match the single side, and the double notch will be matching the double notch part. Pay close attention and you will understand everything I did in this tutorial. It's so easy, and I am very sure that you will understand. Please do this when you're joining your corset, especially when they are cut into several pieces like this, so that you don't get confused of which part will join to which part. Now watch me make this notches more prominent, because as I apply the interfacing, the double tissue paper is sort of covered the notch, and I'm trying to make it more visible. So you can see the double notch that I'm pointing here. That is why it will match there, and these notches also will match this part. That is why notches are good. You can see the double there will match the double on the other side, and I'll go ahead and stitch all these together, both for the lace and for the lining. And this is what I have gone ahead to iron where it's necessary, and then I have to go ahead and shape the hemline. Okay, so I will apply the boning after I have shaped the hemline, so that the boning will not get to where the hemline is. I hope you understand. Here I had to go up by 3/4 inch, and this other way 3/4 inch as well, and I just took a curve of the shape I want. Just feel free to take the shape of hemline that you prefer. This is strictly optional and by choice. If you want to still leave it as a regular hemline, feel free to do that. But I'm okay with this drawing I did, and I just had to go ahead and cut it out. But if you want to use exactly the drawing on the picture of the overbust corset that I used, you will have to make the top longer. Okay, while cutting the pattern, you have to make it like 27 inches to give you that sharp, long sharp point in front. Okay, but from the onset, I know that I didn't want that long sharp point, that's as long as that one appeared. That is why I just had to make mine 25. Okay, so right now I'm going to just stitch the neckline. After stitching the neckline, I will notch it and top stitch. Okay, so this is what I have. You can see what I have right here, and I'll go ahead and trim the hemline, ensuring that all of this matches very well. Ensure it matches so well. That is why I pinned it down, so that when you cut the hem, it will be exact. So this is what I have. Now I'm putting the notches in place to be very visible again, and I'll go ahead and remove the pins. So you can see what we have now. I'll just go ahead and put the bonings on the lines. Okay, this Victorian corset kind of shape that I gave the overbust corset, I'm going to put bonings on it before I then turn the neckline. This is my top, and I am okay with the padding of the bust, but if you want to use bust caging, I have a tutorial on the bust caging, how you can cage a pattern like this, a top like this. So I will link it up in the description just in case you want to use bust caging. So I'll be boning just from the under bust down to the waistline, not below the waistline. Yeah, okay, I will make sure that it does not disturb the drawing of the hemline. So this is the back. You can see what I have here. I'm just trying to shape up the back. First of all, I had to make the notch to be very, very deep, like so. I made it to be quite deep like this, so that I will be able to still see it after trimming off the hemline for the back. Okay, so right now I'm going to draw the shape that I want for this back hem. I had to go up there by 3/4 just like I did in front, and I will take any shape I want. So feel free to take any shape you want. So I took this shape at first and I wasn't okay with it. I had to just change up the shape here. So I had to change the drawing a bit there towards the center back, and this was my final decision on what the hemline would look like. So I had to trim it like so, and this is what I have. I'll still use the same to cut the lining piece. Do well to be very careful while doing this so that everything will look very similar. And you can see that I'm cutting on fold. I'm cutting the two parts together. So I'm also cutting the lining now, and the two linings are together. So this is the shape I took for the back, and I think I'm okay with this shape right now. I'll just go ahead and apply the boning where necessary. I also applied it in a way that it is at the same level with the front boning. You can see how I applied the front boning from the under bust down to before the hemline. Okay, I observed the shape of the hemline. You can see how I applied the boning for the back as well. And I will always also be applying to the center back 2 lines, so that will take care of the eyelet holes. So right now I'll just go ahead and stitch the neckline, notch, and then top stitch before I stitch the hemline. Now here I've stitched the neckline just as you can see, and I've top stitched and also closed up the hemline as well as the shoulder, as well as the armhole area. So here I'm just trimming off the excess after I top stitched the neckline. You can see the bonings, how they did not get to the hemline. Okay, so I'm just here trimming the excess on the hemline Please ensure to notch the hemline, very important. So here I am notching the hemline. Take care to notch two, but not through the line that you just stitched. Okay, I did not notch to the line, the stitch line. I was very careful not to get to the stitch line, but yes, you have to get to, but not through it. Rather, don't cut through it. So I've gone ahead to notch all of that and turn it inside out from the sides. So that's the armhole area that I'm just trimming. So I'll just trim that sharp point along the scoop neckline, the two edges of the scoop neckline, the pointed edges of the scoop neckline, and I am using my scissors to just push it out. Please use what will not poke out through the fabric. Okay, I've pushed it out and this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and push out the sharp part of the hemline. Here I'm just using my screwdriver. Okay, feel free to use whatever will not, spoil the fabric. So I'll close up the two sides and also serge it. So here I just put one line of the bone in there. You can put two. I feel I'm okay with the one with the interfacing that I applied there, which is clothes gum, thick clothes, more like peplon stay. Yeah, is a peplon stay that I used there, but I cut it on bias grain. I cut it on bias so that it does not affect the stretch of the fabric. So I'll go ahead and stitch the hemline. You can see after turning the neckline and flipping it over, I had to stitch the hemline of the back. And this is what I have. You can see what the front looks like. You can see what it looks like. This is the scoop neckline and it's looking really beautiful. You can see how it's standing. I used peplum stay for that neckline as interfacing. I did not use bust caging. If you want to use bust caging, feel free to do that. I will actually put in the description box the link to bust caging tutorial, okay, for a cut like this. It will be very suitable for a cut like this, so I'll put it in the description so that you can have a look at it. I'll just go ahead and stitch this together, the back and the front, and I've done that here, and also put the eyelets. I'll also put in the link where you can see how you can make your eyelet, just in case you don't know how to make your eyelet. You can see the lacing of this because the skirt of this top is actually this Ankara, so that is why I use the same to do the lacing. I will also be using the same to drape the sleeve. I can show you if you will want to see it. Thanks for watching, guys, and this is what I have. Love you all, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.